Hello, my friends. Thank you for those who participated in my survey today and for those who already participated in my survey. When I made my video yesterday, I knew that one kid liked the tail better, but they weren't sure if they liked spikes at all. One kid definitely liked spikes on the tail better, and then a third kid wasn't sure if they liked one or the other more. After today, I learned that one kid liked spikes on the back better. I learned two kids like spikes on the back better. I actually learned that three kids like spikes on the back better. So in total, I learned 6 kids' answers. Two groups of 3, 6 kids. But I still had to get 4 more answers to be able to get to 10. So I decided to ask my dad, my sister, my mom, and Ms. Badum. Overall, I found that 5 kids or people liked spikes on the back better. I found that 4 people liked spikes on the tail better, and that one person wasn't sure. Spikes on the back or spikes on the tail. They liked both equally. So I've made the graph that I promised you. This is my very best version of my graph. I'm going to share a picture of this with you as well. But you can see here that every single unit that I used on this graph is the same size. I have the same square. This is actually a square that I had from our dot challenge earlier. I used it as 1 vote for the tail, 2 votes for the tail, 3 votes for the tail, 4 votes for the tail, 4 votes for the tail, 1 vote for the back, 2 votes for the back, 3 votes for the back, 4 votes for the back, 5 votes for the back, and then 1 vote for not sure. Every vote is the same size. So when you look at this graph, what did the most people think was the best? What did the most people vote for? If you had to say tail, back, or unsure, so tail is blue, back is orange, and purple is not sure, which vote was the most popular? The tail, the back, or not sure? Something that's very important about my graph is that I use the same size for every vote. What happens if I don't use the same size for every vote? I have an example of that as well. I still have the same question. I still have the same answers. So my question is still, what do you like better? Spikes on the tail or spikes on the back, or not sure? But in this graph, I used squares for the tail, squares for not sure, and then for the back, I used circles. What's different about these two graphs? One of the things I notice about this graph, when I use the same size of unit for each vote, one of the things I notice is that it's really easy for me to look at this graph and see which thing has the most votes. It's really easy for me to see that orange is the most popular. Spikes on the back was the most popular. When I look at the graph where I use two different sizes of units, I used squares for one, and then I used circles for the other. On this graph, it actually looks like the 5 and the 4 are equal. But I know that's not true. I know 5 is more than 4. If I didn't write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the circles, I might not even notice that there were more votes for the back than the tail. That's why I think it's really important, and I know it's really important to notice that having a regular, a consistent, always using the same size of unit for each vote is the best way to make a graph. So my friends, the big idea, the big question here is when we're comparing something, why is it important to use the same size of unit? If I compare a square and a smaller circle, what will happen? Will I be able to have a fair comparison? Will 4 of these squares be the same as 4 of these circles? Why is it important that we use the same size to measure something? If we're comparing two different things, why is it important to use the same size of measure? Let me know what you think. Is it fair to compare 4 circles and 4 squares and just look at that comparison? Will that tell us a real measure or a true comparison? Why is it important to use the same measure?